Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. This video is going to be one of my wedding planning series videos. Today I'm going to be telling you about some of the tools and resources that I have been using for everything wedding planning. This is from my budget tracking to guest list to just generating ideas. So this isn't going to be in any particular order, and I will leave links below in the description so those who would like to follow some of the things I have done are able to do it for themselves as well. So one of the first places I went when I got engaged was to a website called A Practical Wedding. Nathan and I knew we didn't want to spend a ton of money on our wedding. We have other things we'd like to spend our money on. And so a website called A Practical Wedding with more realistic weddings showcased sounded like a good place to start. And this website has so many ideas and suggestions for people with all kinds of different budgets. From what I've heard, they only showcase weddings that are under about $25,000, which is way more than our budget is. So it helps to really narrow down the field when the average US wedding is around $30,000. So with A Practical Wedding, it really helped me jumpstart the planning phases and understanding where I need to start. They have this wonderful breakdown that shows like a high level the very first things you need to do when it comes to planning a wedding, so that you're setting yourself up to really bring your head together about everything that you're planning and to keep a consistent theme throughout. Some things that I've taken from their site are their spreadsheets. They're in Google Doc form, so you're able to copy them into your own Doc or Drive account, or you can download them as Excel files and use them and modify them as you need. I've used the spreadsheets as a starting point and just understanding what I want to organize. And as I've used it more and more, I've realized where I needed to add fields or where I could remove fields because it was or wasn't applicable to myself and my situation. At this point, the spreadsheets that I use, although started from the APW spreadsheets, are completely different from how they began. But the spreadsheets are a really great starting point for anybody who's trying to organize their wedding planning life. Like I said, it'll help you narrow down what kind of things are important to you, what kind of things you want to track, and sometimes it helps you think about things you wouldn't have thought of otherwise. The next couple tools I have been using are online. I have been keeping up on both the Knot and Wedding Wire websites. When you talk to people, a lot of them you'll find will say they love the Knot better or they love Wedding Wire better because of how robust it is or the user interface and the experience using it. I didn't know which I would prefer, and so I started out making both. And it started off really simple because for the most part, you're just going through a checklist. Check, 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 I've done this, I've done that. So it was really easy to keep up on both sites. And now I'm at a point where I could go forward only using one of the websites, but I'm still using both. I've decided to use Wedding Wire as the primary source of truth for our wedding. And this honestly boils down to the wedding website itself. I made two wedding websites for us, one on the Knot and one on Wedding Wire, and I showed them to my fiance and asked him which he liked better, and he liked the one on Wedding Wire better. I personally did as well because of the flexibility, but some people like the Knot better, and that's fine. It's whatever works for you and what works for your wedding. I do not use the apps too often. I do have the Wedding Wire app downloaded, whereas I don't have the Knots app downloaded. But the only time I really use the Wedding Wire app is to do a quick update on the go or a quick check on my checklist to see where I'm at, something that I might be missing. I don't really use it as robust as it could be used, but it's mostly because I enjoy getting on my computer and filling everything out meticulously. One other place I have found a lot of information and to be extremely helpful is a Facebook group. For anyone who's interested in wedding information, they seem to add anyone who respects the rules to this group, but it is called The Wedding Connection. Last I checked, there were about 12,000 members, so there is always a lot going on in this group, but it is a gold mine of information. There are so many people on there who are just dating, who just got engaged, who've been engaged for a few years, who have been married or just got married. You will find a slew of people on here. You will find all kinds of different people on here with all kinds of different backgrounds. And what I love about it is, for the most part, people are extremely kind and understanding and helpful. Obviously, with any group of this size, you're gonna have a few people who aren't the nicest or just may not come across in the right way. And so it may not be the place for you. But if you are looking for information, if you're looking for feedback, if you're looking for questions, it's just like any other forum, except a lot nicer and easier to navigate because it's on Facebook, where I already spend half my day. I have used the page to ask my own questions, as well as make little announcements such as booking a DJ for a discounted price. It's nice to post your information and questions in a community that is so supportive and understanding and excited for you. And this also saves all of your Facebook friends from being bombarded with all of your little updates that are extremely important to you in your wedding, but they couldn't care less. Also, because it is a private Facebook group or a closed Facebook group, anything you post in there won't be displayed to your friends and family. So what I've seen is a lot of brides are posting their gowns, themselves in their gowns, because they really want to share it with someone. And because it's private, they don't have to worry about their friends and family seeing it ahead of time. Another thing I've been using that I would say is kind of similar to the Facebook group is a podcast. I have been following the Bridechilla podcast with Alicia McCormick for about 4 or 5 months now. She has over 200 podcasts all about weddings, and she is the most chill host, and it's all about getting you from engaged to married while remaining a bridechilla, not a bridezilla. There has been all kinds of feedback on the show, people trying to get advice and her providing her advice, as well as seeking advice from her community. What I really enjoy about the podcast is it's a really down-to-earth perspective of wedding planning. Personally, I don't really care for the meticulous details of wedding planning, especially when it comes to decorations. Alicia's kind of there to say, hey, it's okay that you don't care about that. But she's also there to tell others, it's totally cool if you do care about that. It's up to you and it's your wedding, and it's just a little reminder every week that, you know, this wedding isn't just to put on a party for our friends and family. This wedding is for us to be married. Hearing that's a good reminder of putting in perspective what's truly important on this day. So one thing I haven't mentioned is we are planning this wedding on our own. It's not a fully DIY wedding. We are getting help from a bunch of vendors and all. Some aspects of it are DIY, such as our centerpieces, but as far as a wedding planner, we're not having one. This has put a little extra stress on myself and my fiance because this is a big deal. It is a lot going on and a lot of things to coordinate all within a very short time span. So using these tools and resources has really helped me buckle down and focus on what's important right now. Something that has been very stressful with this planning is figuring out the day of timeline. Because I don't have a ton of experience with weddings, I've only been to one so far in my life, I don't fully know how long everything should take or how long it might take. I do not want to skimp on time. So something that I have used to create my day of timeline and to work from is a timeline creator from WeddingWire. Again, I will put the link in the description below so you can see this as well. But it was a really good starting point for me. Again, like most of these tools, they are starting points when I use them. It helps me understand what I need to be cautious of, and in this case, in general, how long things will take. I started with the timeline generator and I took out things that didn't apply to my wedding day. I added things that do apply to my wedding day, such as going from the ceremony venue to the reception venue. And I wrote out my own timeline based on when we would get into each facility, where we would be getting ready, and all of those other details. Thankfully, I am working with some wonderful vendors, and my photographer has offered to look over the timeline as many times as I need going up to the wedding day. So I continue to send updates of my timeline over to him and his wife, and they so graciously will look it over for me and provide feedback to let me know, first of all, if they have enough time, because Photos are one of the most important aspects of my day, aside from getting married, guys. So I verify with our photographer that they have enough time to do what they need, but then they also provide me feedback to let me know if I'm allowing enough time through the buffet, or if the time I've scheduled for first dances is going to easily run over, or if something is too long and we don't need that long to cut a cake. But again, starting with this timeline generator gave me an idea of where to start and a rough estimate of how long things should take. And finally, one of the last tools that I use a lot, and I'm sure many of you do as well, is Pinterest. Pinterest is a great place to get ideas, but I would leave it at that. I do not use Pinterest to find exact items. As it's been pointed out to me before, you don't know what it took behind that Pinterest photo to make that. Many event decorating companies spend a lot of time and money posing items in a certain way so that it will invoke a certain feeling, but you have no idea how much that cost, and it could be way outside of your budget. So it's really hurtful to get your heart set on something so specific and find out that it's $500 more than you could imagine. So I use Pinterest to generate ideas. It has helped with our centerpieces, it has helped with ceremony decorating, it's helped me get an idea of what I want my day of to look like and feel like, but I do not use it for specific items. So if you click in the description below, you will be able to see all of the things I have talked about today, where you can find them and use them. The only exception is the Wedding Connection Facebook page I've discussed. If you would like to join that group, I highly recommend searching it in your own Facebook, as it is a closed group and does require an admin to add you to the group. I have not seen someone get denied from being added, but they will remove members if they don't follow the rules. I hope you guys have enjoyed this video. Keep your eyes out. I will be having more of this wedding planning series, including booking our venue and booking our other vendors, talking to my bridal party, and more. Don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe, and I will talk to you guys later. Bye.